Hello, this is Carlos Febres, head instructor of the Nendo Ryu School of Bujutsu and also Kaisho of the Kagetora Budokai. This is the third tape on the series of ranks and titles in the martial arts. And first, before I start, I would like to thank all the people that had written and giving us opinions about the first two tapes. I do appreciate all the opinions, the good and the bad, actually, because they help me to grow. And I have to say also that the reason why I'm doing these videos is not to embarrass nobody or to direct attention to one group or another. I actually want everybody to be informed because the more martial artists are educated, the best is for all of us. And I do believe that there may be people making mistakes here and there, but they're not making those mistakes intentionally. Those mistakes are just coming because maybe lack of training or they didn't get enough information. So that's another reason why we're doing these videos. Today if we have the time, we're gonna check out basically 5 subjects, and I got them right here. I got 5 subjects to discuss. First, I want to deal with titles that are adequate for grandmasters. That means people who have their own systems and they may be a doubt what title they want to use. This is going to help you. The title I want to present to you that is good for anybody who is a headmaster and is not controlled by rank is the title Kansho. Now, in Japanese, Kansho means boss, but is used in different ways. For example, on a ship, the Kansho will be the captain. On a military unit, the Kancho will be the commanding officer of the military unit. On a fabric or a factory, on a workplace, the Kancho is the supervisor. So Kancho always indicate the person in charge. And that's what I want you to think about it. Kancho is the person in charge. So that title is suitable to be used by grandmasters, and there's no problem with the title. And it's not attached to a rank. So if you're a 4th dan and you have your own system, you are the kancho of that system. If you are a 6th dan and you have your own system, you're the kancho of that system. So it doesn't matter what rank are you. If you are the guy in charge, kancho is the title that you can use with no problem. The second title I want you to deal with is a title that is selected for 10 dans. And it's a nice and very polite way to address a grandmaster. The title is called Dai Sensei. Now, sensei, as you know, means teacher. Dai means great or illustrate. So Dai Sensei is a title that is used for 10 dans. Very adequate, no problem with it. It doesn't require any special ceremony or any special procedure. The moment you're a 10 dan, you can use the title of Dai Sensei, and there's no much problem with that. Okay, the first subject I want to deal with, this is related to rank, and this is something that affects a few people. Before I do this, again, I want to apologize ahead. My intentions on these videotapes is not to embarrass nobody, is to bring help, assistance, and proper information, because if we martial arts take care of each other, we all grow. Okay. I am aware that there's a lot of independent systems out there. And the people who have done their own systems, and let me be clear about it, there's nothing wrong for a person who feels that he can produce to make their own system. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they have the knowledge to do so. So if they do and they want to follow their own way, that is okay. To give an example, in my school, once a student reached the rank of 6th dan, I gave them the opportunity to go on their own and make their own rule. Some of them actually do that, and they have done it, and they have been very successful at it. And some of them decide just to stay within the Nendo Ryu family. So there's nothing wrong with a person making his own system, again, as long as the person has the proper knowledge to do so. Now, here is the question. For those people who are on their own and they don't know what to do, there's always this standard thing. How do I get promoted? My last promotion was a 5th dan or a 6th dan, and I see these people with these higher ranks. How can I get there? In order to understand how you're gonna get there, we gotta make 2 points clear. There's a difference between rank and recognition. And a lot of people tend to confuse these two. So we're gonna clarify now what is rank and what is recognition. Let's start with rank. Rank is what is issued by an organization in which you are a member. So if a student of mine takes a test and passes the test, I rank that student based on the performance of the test, and his certificate's gonna say certificate of rank. A recognition is an opinion from a higher peer that indicates that in his opinion you should be at this level. So if I see a person from another style that they're working on and they're doing their thing and they have this rank, and I think, this guy should be a higher rank than what it is, I can issue an opinion. I issue that opinion in writing, and that is a recognition. I'm recognizing that this guy should be this rank. In other words, I'm saying, in my opinion, this guy is a 6th Dan. In my opinion, this guy is a 7th Dan. So I want you to have these two things clear: ranks and recognitions. Okay, now let's get to the subject. If I am an independent martial art practitioner and I have my own system and I have my students, I'm helping to grow my students, but how do I grow myself? Well, the first thing you need to ask a question. You need to ask a couple of questions before you start pursuing this. And the first question is, what good is for my students to have this next rank? This is what I mean with it. If you have amounts of white belts and yellow belts and green belts and purples and browns, and you have maybe a 1st Dan and a 2nd Dan, and your rank is a 5th Dan, do you actually need to be promoted to 6? If you think about it, the answer is no, because none of these students are getting closer to you. The marker for you to start dealing with the possibility of recognition is when their students start getting closer to you. And the distance is 2 steps. So in theory, if you are a 5th Dan on your own style, once one of your students get to 3rd, now is when you start to be looking at the possibility to go up to 6. Now, there are 3 ways you can get promoted. Number 1, you can get promoted as a respect by your old teacher, assuming, of course, you left that organization in good faith. This is the reason why you don't want to leave organizations with a problem behind your back, because this is going to bite you later. Number 2, you can become an associate of a reputable organization, and through that association, you can actually receive recognition. The 3rd one, and this is a little bit difficult, but sometimes it could be even simple, is when you receive recognition from another organization that has nothing to do with you, but they feel that you have done enough work to get that recognition. You may be surprised, but a lot of people in the martial art today got their higher ranks through this system. Welcome back. Gotta take a short information here. Okay, so these are the 3 basic models in which an independent martial art practitioner can be recognized. It can be recognized, again, number 1, by his former teacher. It can be recognized by a reputable organization, or it can be recognized by an independent organization that for some reason establish a relationship and they know who you are and they decide to help you. There's no problem with these recognitions as long as they operate under those basics. Any other type of relationship that produces the recognition, you need to be careful with that. Okay, so now that we're clear about what are ranks and what are recognitions, this is what normally you're gonna find. Most high-ranking black belts are gonna have both ranks and recognition certificates in their wall. This is what you need to look at in those certificates. If the certificate says rank, the one who signed that certificate has to be the teacher of the person. If the certificate says recognition, whoever signed that certificate has to be a master level person of greater rank and experience. So these are the two things you want to look. And let me tell you right now, and I'm sorry, but I have to touch this. If you see a certificate that says rank, but is signed not by the person's teacher, but by somebody else, in my opinion, that certificate is worth it. It's not good. Either you're rank or you're recognized. Um, you can't have it both ways. Both are good. Rank is good and recognition is good. They're all valid. They're originally they're fine. But even you got one or the other, you can't have in the same paper both things going on at the same time. That will not work very well. Okay, I'm gonna touch another little bit of a dangerous subject, and as always, I want to apologize if somebody feel uncomfortable with what I'm about to talk about right now. I'm gonna talk about the issue of ranks beyond the 10 dan. Dr. Gyogyo Kano, which is the founder of Kodokan Judo, is also the designer of the modern rank system we use in Japanese martial arts. In the view of Dr. Kano, the rank system is composed into two branches. One branch he calls the child branch, and the second branch he calls the adult branch. The child branch is what we know as Q ranks, and of course the adult branch is what we know as Dan ranks. And it makes very, I mean, it is logical. When you start on something new, technically you're a child, you're a kid to that new skill. As you learn more, you grow up and grow up, and at some point you stop being a child and you become an adult. And from that point, as an adult, you keep on growing, but you are an adult. So this is the representation of the ranking system that it's used currently in Japan. You start with a Q rank, you get to your Shodan, and then you continue growing up. Now, since we're talking the subject, let me tell you what Shodan actually is. Your first degree black belt doesn't make you a teacher, and it doesn't make you a master. What Shodan should be is that when you arrive at that point, you have all the basic knowledge of the system. That's it. So Shodan, if you put it from the point of view of normal education, is at the point where you can very intelligently, you can read and write. And that's it. Once you can read and write, that's your Shodan. That's why the education don't stop there. Education continues. This is also the reason why, at least in my system, I recommend that license to teach are issued only to 4 dans and above because they have enough experience to be good teachers. Okay. So we got our 10 Qs and we got our 10 dans. What happens when you reach 10 dan? That's it. There should be no other rank beyond 10 dan. Now, you and I know that in the last few years, a lot of schools, and some of the schools, reputable schools, have started issuing certificates with ranks beyond 10. I'm going to give you a simple example of this. How many of you remember your years in high school? If you live in the United States, you study your high school at 9th grade. In Puerto Rico, we start high school at 10th grade. So you go 3 years of high school in Puerto Rico or 4 years of high school in the United States. After your grade 12, assuming that you pass all your tests and did everything you need to do, you get your diploma, high school diploma, and from that point you continue to other trainings or other plans or whatever you want to do with your life. Makes sense up to this point. Now consider this. How many people you had heard saying the following? I got my high school diploma at grade 13. I got my high school diploma at grade 14. I got my high school diploma at grade 15. Did that sound logical? No, you're going to say, no, wait a minute. What's going on? There's something wrong here. That is exactly the same relationship to anybody claiming to have a rank beyond 10 Dan. When Dr. Cano put this system on, he imagined that most people were going to be doing their education, getting to Shodan level, continue maybe to a mastery level, and at least reaching the 4th Dan or the 5th Dan. They may continue in martial arts or not. Some of them will continue getting their 6th, their 7th. Some of them becoming hanshis and getting into 8th Dan. One guy gets to 9th Dan, and the reason why we only have one 9th Dan is because when the Grandmaster died, the 9th Dan becomes the next Grandmaster. And of course, you get the head of the system, which should be a 10 Dan. That's how the system was designed. Anything beyond that point, in my opinion, and with all due respect, is ridiculous and stupid. Because what you are saying is that you are beyond nature. You are beyond what is normal. And that gets into another problem. We are all humans. We have our weakness and we have our strength. No human is supreme. Supreme belongs to God, or Allah if you're Muslim, or Buddha if you're Buddhist. So besides God, my Lord Jesus Christ, the Prophet Muhammad, blessed be upon his name, the Amina Buddha, or something like that, no human can call himself supreme. Stay away from anybody who claims to be Supreme Grandmaster, Supreme Grand Poobah, because for me, any time I hear the word supreme attached to a martial art title, what comes into my mind, and I apologize, but it's my opinion, what comes into my mind is some kind of a mental problem. Okay, we have discussed Kancho, which is a good title for Grandmasters, Dai Sensei, great title for 10 Dans. How do you can achieve 10 Dan? The difference between ranks and recognitions, and my personal opinion about why there should be no more than a 10 Dan. Of course, remember, these are my opinions. They are based on proper education, but you feel to disagree, and I invite any letters or comments regarding these videos. Thank you for your attention. God bless you, and have